Hi folks, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be working into one of my favourite twisted arm balances, Parivritta Eka Pada Koundinyasana. So it means the twisting one-legged posture of Koundinya the sage. Parivritta Eka Pada Koundinyasana. It's almost easier to do it than say it. We're going to take a couple of little variations. So arm balances, often we work at progressively. So we start with something simple and then add little elements to it. As always, just listen to your body. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good for you. Particularly be patient with your wrists. It does take time to build up the strength required to comfortably hold the body weight on the wrist. So if you start to get any pain either in the back or the front of the wrist, just stop. You've done enough for the day. If you have any questions or any comments, just let me know in the comments section and I'll get back to you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to do so. Now might be a chance just to reach down and click that little button that's probably somewhere down there. And otherwise, thank you for sharing with me, allowing me to share the practices with you. Remember, these more complex postures will not make you a better person. They will not take away all the problems of your life. So don't get attached to the postures. Do what you can do and be happy with whatever you can do in any moment. The Bhagavad Gita says very, very clearly that in order to practice yoga, we should do our very, very best and then be equally happy with success or failure. So always bear that in mind. We're not practicing for an outcome. We're just practicing because it's the circumstance we're in and we enjoy doing it. So that all being said, the first preparation, I think, for any of these arm balancing postures is Bakasana. So the crane posture, sometimes called the crow, but a crow in Sanskrit is kaki. So Bakasana is the crane posture. So we start with the hands just a little bit wider than the shoulders. And to begin with, if you're starting out on this, I think it helps if you bend your elbows out to the side and try to make a little shelf with your upper arm. And then you bring your shins onto the knees. And you have to lift your hips in order to balance. Your center of gravity is essentially where your hips are. So in order to balance on the hands, you have to get your hips over your hands. So we grip the fingertips down to stabilize the wrists. We have to lift the hips up really, really high. And then you lean forward until the feet start to feel light. And once you don't feel like there's any weight on the feet anymore, you can pick them up. Now this is a nice simple variation. You can start to bring the toes together. But if you're reasonably comfortable with that, what we do is take the knees up towards the armpits. So we start in a much higher position. Again, the fingers are gripping down to stabilize the wrists, hands shoulder width apart. We bring the knees to the upper arms, lean forward. The hips are already high, so all we need to do is pick up the feet. So the arms are much straighter and the body's much higher in this position. A nice simple handstand with the body compressed into a little ball. So that's Bakasana. Just give your wrists a little bit of a stretch out. And then adding a twist, because Parivritta Eka Pada Koundinyasana is a twisted arm balance. We can work with what's called Bakasana or Parivritta Bakasana, either side crane or twisted crane. So I'll show this from side on. Hopefully it'll give you a better view of it. I'll do both sides rather than facing forward. So we start with the feet together and knees together. And again, the hands are going to be in the same position they were for Bakasana. So about shoulder width apart. And then we turn the knees, in this case I'm turning them to the right. And I'm going to bring my outer left knee onto the upper right arm. So just near the elbow or a bit higher up if you can. Now the left elbow does not touch the body here. There's a sort of cheats variation where you drop the elbow into the hip, but actually the left elbow should stay away from the body here. We grip the fingers, lean forward into the hands, and just like Bakasana, we lift the hips. Once the feet feel light, we pick them up. And we're trying to bring the body more or less parallel to the floor, so head, hips, and feet all at the same height. And from the other side, so again we turn the knees to the side, the knees are together, outer right knee onto left upper arm in this case. Stabilize the wrists by gripping into the fingers, lean forward, lift the hips, and then pick up the feet. and try and bring the body more or less parallel to the floor. You can see the right elbow here isn't touching the body. Okay, so you might like to pause and just spend a little bit of time working with that. And once you're ready to move on, we're going to take Parivritta Eka Pada Koundinyasana, the full posture that we're working towards. So I find the easiest way to come into this one is from a lunge. So, not that it really matters, but I'll start left leg forward, right leg back. And then we start by moving into Parivritta Eka Pada Bakasana. So we bring the shoulder ideally over the left knee. If you're just near the elbow, the balance will be a little tricky. So we're trying to get the shoulder near the knee. Then we take, in this case, the right hand down to the floor, or almost to the floor. Then we start to lean over to the left and bring the left hand down into the same position it was for Bakasana. Then with the fingers gripping down, we lean over. We can start with the left knee bent and try and lean forward and pick up the right leg. I'll just show that on the other side. Now this is not the full position, but if you're a bit tight in the hamstrings, this is probably about as far as you'll get. But it's a good intermediate variation. So again, shoulder over the knee. In this case, left hand down near the right foot. Right hand over, hands shoulder width apart. We lean forward, I'll keep the knee bent, and pick the body up. And again, right elbow not touching the body. Full variation, just adds a little hamstring stretch. So, we start from our lunge. Take the right hand down, take the left hand down. I like to raise the left leg and then just lean forward. And again, body fairly parallel to the floor, left elbow not touching the body. And from the other side, coming into the lunge, left elbow outside right knee, left hand down, right hand down, lean over, straighten the right leg, and lean into the hands. And there you have it. So, like all of the more advanced postures, requires a combination of strength, suppleness, and sense of balance. So all three of the physical elements of the practice. I hope that gives you some things to work towards. If you have any questions, let me know. And of course, thank you for sharing. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.